Hey, still to my brother was happening.
Hey, fantasy, it's session. We talking touchdowns, receptions, interceptions. They got a band and kicker. We need that correction. Swap them out. We flexing. How many of y'all you collect? We trying to get that winning record. Fantasy, it's session.
Yo.
What up, though?
Man, we back.
What it is, hope is what it should be. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy in Session, the podcast. Today is October the 6th, and the boys are back in town, presented by Real Deal Fantasy HQ. As always, wherever you listen to this at, especially on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. If you listen to this on Apple Podcasts, make sure you leave us a review. If you haven't told somebody that you're listening to us, go ahead and touch the neighbor next to you and say, neighbor, listen to the Fantasy in Session podcast.
You did.
How y'all feeling doing? Hey, I beat Javonte ass last week, like I said I would, but that's neither here nor there.
I meant to ask y'all about that. How did they extravaganza go? I know y'all played each other in like three leagues, bro.
Yeah, I beat them by like hundreds of points in one of them.
Oh shit!
I think I broke an all-time scoring championship record on this.
You want to say less?
Yeah,
say less. Damn, bruh.
Yeah, he scored a lot of points, but it's still equal to one win. It's still just one win, one victory.
What do you mean? I scored a lot of points. You scored a little points.
Yeah, and that league,
little points.
we still 2-2. And in our four matchups, we still
2-2.
In our four matchups.
We played some. We got another one this week.
No,
we got another one this week, don't it?
We played last week. I won, and then we had 3 games this week.
I know, but he's saying
and lost one of them, so we 2-2 in our matchups.
All right, so we play again this week too. Yeah, but you play me in my shitty league though.
Yeah.
No, because Trey Lance is starting. Trey Lance is starting, baby.
We hope
Let's
so.
go.
We hope so.
Right.
Hey, will it to existence?
I wasn't as confident as I was, at the end of Sunday, but we'll see. The way Jimmy G had that little press conference, bro, he sounded like he was not about to play this week. So just gotta, stay tuned, bro.
That'd be so gross. Let's give a special moment of silence out to all the fallen Black kings and queens out there. Ring ding dong, ring ding 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 dong. Keep your head ringing. We back. How y'all doing? How you do, Carlos? You talking about us? How you do week 4? What your team's looking like? I did
pretty good. I didn't even look. I didn't count up all the wins and losses I had.
Hold on, Brad don't want to hear about that right now. What up, Brad?
What up, Brad?
Nah, Brad, you gonna wait until I tell you how I'm doing, bro. How about that? Shit.
Would y'all take
Antonio
Gibson for Fournette? Yes. For sure.
If
you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe.
Hurry up before you change his mind. Hurry up.
Right. Do that quick. But yeah, like, subscribe. Appreciate you, Brad.
Yeah, but I did pretty
Carlos,
good, man.
How you do?
In my main leagues, I would say 50-50. I don't know off the top of my head because I didn't count them all, but in the leagues I needed a win, I think I pretty much got one.
Right, that's crazy.
It wasn't a bad week at all.
Same here, it's like 50-50, but the leagues that I really needed to win in, except that one Twitter league we're not doing good.
Oh my God, bro. Crazy. That shit is wild, bro.
But other than that,
I look at that and just
who drafted that?
Off.
We dropped in a deep Pirelli league, and who ain't phased out?
I thought y'all was talking about the other one we in.
Ridley and Claypool ain't came through, but Trey Lance about to start playing soon, and we got Mahomes, so we got a chance.
Put together some wins, man, because it's getting pretty ugly over there.
Right.
Hey. Shout out to Joey. Need 2 wide receivers this week. I got Tyler Boyd, Marvin Jones, Robert Woods, Cortland Sutton, or Chenault.
All right. So
I like Boyd.
Yeah, I think I like Jones. And let me see. Jaguars play Tennessee.
Chenault and Woods.
I think I like.
I would
like
Boyd more, but you got Higgins. He's practicing. He's on track to play this week. So we've seen the first 2 games. Boyd is the third in line there, and they're not throwing like they were last year. So I would sit him. Chenault had a great game last week. No more Chark, so he's going to be involved. And then Woods, man, I think he's going to have that squeaky wheel, gets the Grease game, bro. You have McVay coming out saying that he wants to give him more opportunities. So that would be my 2.
I will talk about Robert Woods when I get to the when we get into the episode. So I'll say what I got to say about Robert Woods.
For me, I like between Chenault or Marvin Jones. Choose one to do, and then I'm just not feeling Robert Woods, man. I'm not feeling that. I feel more comfortable with Sutton against. He got a nice matchup with the Steelers. He should see a lot of targets. If you
Teddy Bridgewater kind of hurt though.
Yeah, but I mean,
Drew Lock
that's kind of better for Sutton. Drew Lock throw the ball up deep for a jump man person, so it's kind of better.
I kind of wrote that up too. We'll
and Tim Patrick, it's better for both of them because you can really go
more so Sutton.
So that's where I'm at. So in order, I would go. Let me see. I think Jones he gonna get peppered with a lot of targets all over the field. So I like Jones, Sutton, and then Chenault, Boyd, then Woods for me.
Sutton, Chenault, Jones, Boyd, just because Tyler if T. Higgins is back, Boyd last. If T. Higgins is not back, I like Boyd at the top of that list. Hey, Joe, make sure you like.
I would have said Boyd. I just T. Higgins is back, so
yeah, for sure. But he been going crazy. Brad said traded Cordell Patterson, I'm assuming Patterson, for Julio and Bobby Trees. Julio didn't show up at practice today. Hey, I've been trying to tell people for as long as I could been a Falcon fan. Julio don't practice, bro. Like him not practicing was something I've never even thought about as a Falcon fan. And now he go to a new team and everybody's surprised. I'm like, see, that what happened. That what you do.
Yeah, but
the Falcons sorry.
He got a hamstring injury though, so.
And Julio ran a 4.2 with a broken foot. I don't think
just rest.
What a broken foot. That's crazy.
A broken foot.
That is.
But shit. Who is one of the most? Let's everybody give one. One of the most disappointing people for you up to week 5. At this point,
Allen Robinson.
Good.
And we took
a guy that had fantasy success with Blake Bortles, Mitch Trubisky, freaking Nick Foles, and then you finally get. I mean, Andy Dalton, he was struggling too, but then you get Justin Fields come and take over, and he's still struggling with probably the best quarterback he's had in his career, bro. And he chooses now to struggle, bro. So yeah, it's tough for Robinson, man. He had a perfect matchup last week too, and he didn't come through. So yeah, he's definitely the biggest disappointment for me.
Yeah, I think after last week especially, we talked about it on the Start Sit episode on that Start Sit Sunday. Like if he doesn't do good against the Lions, it ain't no hope for him. Well, it probably is some hope for him, but I'm not saying he's droppable, but he's definitely on the bench. Like I said last week.
I heard, I remember I don't know if I brought it up on the show, but I remember JJ Zacharyson had a show, late round QB on Twitter. He was saying how historically rookie quarterbacks can't sustain 2 fantasy relevant options at receiver. And with Mooney out here balling like he is, bro, it seems like Mooney is the guy out there. Justin Fields is going to be the, as long as he's going to be the starter, bro. It seems like Mooney's the guy. It just seems like they have that connection over Robinson. So he had a point. He definitely had a point there.
I hope so, my boy.
Shout out to JJ.
Who you got, Javon?
I'm just have to go with Marquez Callaway is going to hold on to some type of value. I'm ready and Jameis because I thought Jameis was going to do more, but they're not unlocking Jameis right now. He's throwing the ball a lot, not a lot of targets out there to be had. So I'm disappointed in that offense as a whole. New Orleans team. Besides Kamara, been okay, but everybody else have been disappointed. I thought you could find other fantasy relevant players on the Jameis and Marquez Callaway, but I guess not.
We gotta invest in a hub for Jamar, boy, because
I'm disappointed in your internet. That's the most shit I'm disappointed on this.
Now you have some good points there, but I just couldn't hear you, bro. Marquez Callaway was his pick if you guys didn't hear at home.
That's what it sounds.
Shut the fuck up, bro. Oh my god, bro. We go with the bullshit.
Let me see. A disappointment. Y'all done took a lot of the good ones. I'll pick one. It's probably not a popular pick. No, I'll pick one. CEH, man. Let's go CEH. Everybody had a lot. No, I'll go Miles Sanders.
Okay, that's good. CEH been coming through. CEH,
you want to prepare for your own question? Look at it.
Nope. Off the top of the dome.
That's a good. Hey, that's a great.
I was prepared. I was going to say one of y'all, but yeah, Miles Sanders. Get his floor being 2 carries in a national football game is gross as a starting running back.
This just sucks because it's not him. He actually looks good. Like when you see him running the ball, he don't look washed or he looks good out there, bro. It's just he's not getting opportunities. That's why it's opportunity over talent for the most part when it comes to fantasy.
Hey, I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is our 99th episode, so that means next episode Friday, big 1-1. Big 1-0-0, 100, man. So we got a special episode, couple good guys and gals. Maybe I don't know if it's any gals, but definitely some good guys. Pause coming through. You know what I'm saying? Show love to the session, and I'm probably gonna get me a little something to drink, so it's gonna be a great time. But yeah, make sure y'all tune in 7-ish around that time on Friday. Same channel, same bat time. Y'all ready to get into the episode?
Yeah,
I say 7-ish because there's no telling when we're gonna come on. This man, make sure you click the reminder. It'll let you know when we're going live though. If you subscribe to us. All right, let's go. Let's start the game off. Thursday night football. The Rams are a 2-point favorite at Seattle with an over-under 54.5 points. We got Matt Stafford, the number 9 QB in fantasy football, 4th in yards, 2nd in passing touchdowns with 11 this year. The Seahawks have sacked the quarterback 9 times this year, and PFF had them graded at a 70 in pass rush grade. 7th in fantasy points given up to the quarterback position and 8 passing touchdowns given up this year. That's 8th in the NFL. So I feel like Matt Stafford is, of course, a great play. 19 touches for Daryl Henderson and 116 yards in his first game back after that rib injury. He missed the week before. What was that, week 3? Played the 2nd highest number of snaps among running backs, only 2nd to James Robinson last week, coming off that rib injury. He also had at least 5 targets in the last 2 games he's played. Seattle has given up the most rushing yards this season on the ground and allowing the 3rd most fantasy points to the running back position. We got Daryl Henderson coming in, start of the week type shit. Robert Woods caught for what? Robert Woods caught. If my voice sounds raspy, I think I'm going down. Pause. Robert Woods caught 4 passes for 48 yards and a touchdown last week. You know what I'm saying? That touchdown is what saved them. Carlos speak about that squeaky wheel. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully he gets the targets. Even though he received 6 targets last week, so did Van Jefferson, Tyler Higbee, and Daryl Henderson. The number 2 wide receiver on that team, the role is not locked in for him anymore. He's only leading Higbee and Jefferson by 6 targets each. He's also 3rd on the team in yards and tied for 2nd on the team in touchdowns with Van Jefferson. Of course, Cooper Kupp is going crazy. He's number 1. We already know that. But Seattle is giving up the 11th most fantasy points to the quarterback position. So like Carlos said, if this is the week now, if he don't do nothing this week, I feel like we gotta call it what it is.
Call it what it is. Call it what you say, Gabe.
Agree, man.
You see what your eyes.
He still has like a 22% target share, I want to say, and this is a 54.5 point over under.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have opportunities, bro. And McVay, I don't think that was just coach speak, man. He knows Robert Woods has been a key part of this offense for a while now, so yeah, I think he wants to get his guy involved.
Over under 9 targets.
Under. I ain't getting that great. Shit. Cooper Kupp is still there. Shit.
For sure. Cooper Kupp is tied in the NFL, tied for 1st in the NFL with 45 targets, got 13 last week. He's a monster. Van Jefferson, man, now seeing 12 targets in the last 2 weeks. We have to start looking at him as a flexible option if he's on your bench, you know what I'm saying, especially coming into bye week seasons. That's what we would say, like next week. Week 6 is the first week of bye week, so especially if he's on your waiver wire. You probably want to go pick him up for a quick wide receiver replacement. 10 catches, 132 yards, and a touchdown in the last 2 weeks, making him the wide receiver 19 if you just count those 2 weeks. He's playing over 60% of the snaps each game this year, so you got to roll him out there. He's still not getting in that 20% threshold in the target per route ran, but he's definitely, you know what I'm saying, a viable, flexible option, especially in deep leagues if you got like 2-3 flex positions. Tyler Higbee played over 70% of his snaps in each game this year. He's also been targeted. The only thing he's missing in is that touchdown deodorant. Seattle's middle of the pack against tight ends, allowing 8 points a game. So him getting 6 targets, you can still roll him out there, I feel. Russell Wilson.
He missed him in the end zone too, man. He almost had a touchdown last week. So
that's a fact.
Stay in the course with him.
Yeah, I like Tyler Higbee. I mean, in the tight end landscape, it's not too many other options, you know what I mean? Russell Wilson completed the fewest amount of passes all season with the fewest yards all season. 16 completions, 149 yards, 2 touchdowns. That accuracy being 8th in adjusted completion percentage and being tied 5th for touchdowns is what makes him deadly. So when he does throw the ball, he's scoring on a lot % of the times. I didn't do the math, but if you want to do it, you can. The fear of Pete Carroll stopping Russ from cooking is always on the horizon, which is evident by 2 300-yard passing games from Russell Wilson, and they both lost. And then they came out the next week, and Seattle was rushing the ball more. Like last week, they rushed the ball more than they did all season, and they won. So the Rams are allowing 273 yards through the air. So if they do let Russell Wilson cook, that'll be great. But I think it's scary times. I think we're going to start looking back at that running game. But a positive is not a positive. But if you got a Russell Wilson owner, something on the horizon is Chris Carson. Is he hurt? They said he's a game time decision. So
right, somebody
in practice all week, man.
Yeah, somebody's
injury, and they said it's something that has been. He has like some type of condition, I want to say, and it's been pretty much been with him since he's been with the team. And it flares up at times, and right now it's flared up. So he's a game time decision, but it's looking bleak, bro, because they play tomorrow, bro. So not practicing all week.
I forgot they played tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? When I was getting the alerts, I forgot they played tomorrow. Let me see. So
Alex Collins.
We talked about Alex Collins. It should be on your waiver wire if he is. So hopefully y'all listened last week. The Rams are allowing 123 yards on the ground per game, and they have also allowed 3 touchdowns to the running back position on the ground. So if you do have Alex Jones, I think you can fire him up. Let's see.
Alex Collins.
What'd I say?
Somebody Jones.
Alex Jones, is that the conspiracy guy? DK
Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Metcalf now finding the end zone 2 weeks in a row, and Tyler Lockett not seeing the end zone since week 2. Both are dealing with a little bit of a nagging injury. The Rams defense has only allowed 2 passing touchdowns all year to the wide receiver position. History has shown that Ramsey has had Metcalf's number. Last year he was held to 7 catches, no touchdowns, and under 10 fantasy points in both matchups, including a 4-target game, which was a 3-point fantasy football performance, which was a disaster around week 10. It was in week 10, you know what I'm saying, right when he was about to make the playoff push. So
Ramsey playing slot.
But he still was playing. He was playing slot last year too. But he still covers DK Metcalf. He covers the wide receiver now. You saw him. He was playing on DeAndre Hopkins last week.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
So
I'm not saying you sit him because you can't sit him. But if you like one of them guys that like really like do crazy rosters and sit your studs, which I would never say do, because he could always have one of them big, you know what I'm saying, 90-yard catches, and then nothing matters after that.
Right. So let me ask you a question. Would you start Amari Cooper, Deontay Johnson over DK Metcalf this week?
Can't start all of them.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs, and you got Stephon Diggs already starting in Deebo Samuels. So you got 2 wide receiver spots, 2 flex spots. So you got to sit.
I would start them too. I would sit DK. I would feel comfortable sitting him if that's the rest of my lineup.
I don't know, bro. It's between DK or Cooper.
I like Cooper.
But
Yeah, I got some on that game. My bad. All right, you can continue. I just wonder.
That's tough.
Yeah, I got decisions.
Yeah, that was the end of that game for me, man. So y'all got anything else?
Yeah,
And
it is disappointing to see only 2 games for them to go back to their old ways, man. And I was a little worried about Tyler Lockett coming into last week because he had that injury in week 3, and over the past years, like it seems like once he has like an injury, bro, like he's not the same player, bro. Like it's just certain players that can play through injuries and some that really can't play through injuries like that, bro. And Lockett's one of them, man. So hopefully he comes back to full health, man. I don't know if he's still banged up or not, but yeah, you might see more of the same if he's still dealing with that nagging injury.
Yeah, but you never can count out that Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett connection. Max, shout out to Max. Chubb or Jonathan Taylor. Full PPR. You gotta go Jonathan Taylor because at least how many targets Jonathan Taylor been getting lately?
More than Chubb
because Chubb got like 1. I think in the last 3 weeks.
And I mean, he's still super efficient on the ground. He's still great in real life, but with Kareem Hunt getting a lot of touches, right, and he's real efficient so far throughout the year. So I mean, he's just gonna like limit that upside of Chubb, bro. Like he's not gonna be using a passing game like that. So you need a touchdown from Chubb to have a great week from him, man. So I will go Jonathan Taylor because he's getting more opportunities right now.
Yep.
Yeah. I go Jonathan Taylor. He averaging 6 yards a carry in the last 2 games. He feeling it right now. So yeah, it's about his time to shine. Definitely Taylor over Chubb.
On to the next game. We got the Jets at the 3.5-point favorite Atlanta Falcons. Let's go rise up all the way in London.
That's in London.
Over under 46 points. We got Zach Wilson, who showed a little bit of a spark last week, throwing more touchdowns than he did interceptions since the first week of the season. So that's always a great thing. How you feel about him?
You have to do this whole game in a London accent, bro.
I wish. I'm not going to embarrass myself.
Come on.
You can barely do the American.
Right. Everything I do, they'd be like, "Bruh, you trying to do this? You sound Jamaican." And I'm like, so I just go do it.
Oh my god!
Right.
You sound Jamaican. That's hilarious.
All right, but Zach Wilson, man, he had one of his best games last week, like you said, showcasing his skills inside the pocket and outside the pocket. But he has thrown at least 1 interception or more in each game. Even with the Falcons allowing at least 25 points per game, you're playing with fire starting him. I would like to see Wilson have back-to-back decent games before I start him. He's a desperate play with a decent matchup for sure. So you're in a desperate situation. He has a great matchup. I can understand going out there. And he's about to go on the run playing easier defenses as well. So if he had 2 back-to-back games, I'll be fine with starting him, streaming him with some of these decent matchups coming up. Michael Carter, Ty Johnson, Tevin Coleman. Tevin Coleman is never a starter. He's seen a total of 11 touches in the last 2 games. Johnson is not a starter at the moment. His playing time is decreasing, and he only seen 13 touches in the last 2 games. Carter has played most of the snaps in his career last week with 51% and receiving most of the touches out of the backfield of the 3. It's not much fantasy production coming from it, but it's encouraging to see the rookie getting most of the work. But this week he's going against the Falcons, who allowed the 6th most fantasy points to running backs. Carter is a flex play with upside this week. Moving on to Corey Davis, Jameson Crowder, Elijah Moore. With Crowder back, he was looking good last week, and Moore is a sit until further notice.
He hurt, right?
Because of that.
He cleared the concussion protocol. So
yeah,
he should be back.
I know he didn't play last week, I don't think.
No, he didn't play last week, but with Crowder back, he was Wilson's favorite target last week. So it's not looking good for Moore. He got to work his way back in. And when Crowder was out, he wasn't looking, that good. So with Crowder back, he had a season debut debut, catching 7 of his 9 targets for 60 yards and 1 TD. Crowder is a start against the Falcons secondary as a flex play / wide receiver 3 play. Davis is a must start. He has seen his first game last week with over 100 yards. He could do it against the defense, allowing 43 fantasy points to the wide receiver group in PPR. 43 to the wide receiver group, bro. That's crazy, bro. Our defense. I remember like 3 weeks ago, Gabe was going to bat for the defense, not just like, bro, the secondary ain't there, bro.
Nah, that was some ass juice. What happened with that Terry McLaurin shit? That shit, but at that point is what I said. Yeah, it's all right, bro. We just out here evaluating talent at this point. We just out here just gonna see who's not gonna make the team next year.
Yes. Anything on that game? I got anything on the Jet side?
I think you nailed it.
Start the wide about Corey Davis already, right?
Yeah, I said him must start. He had 100 yards last week and going against the Falcons secondary, who allowed 43 fantasy points to the wide receiver group per week.
Yeah.
So I like Crowder and Jameis to start this week. So yep. On to the Matty Ice. He played well in back-to-back game with 2 TDs each of them and no INTs. The Jets are allowing the 28 fewest points to quarterback, but that is because opposing teams get up by a lot and just run the football. Atlanta is a better passing team than rushing team, so therefore Matt has a safe mid quarterback 2 to back in to upside this week. There are better streaming options, but I don't mind going with Matt Ryan in quarterback 2 leagues. He just got to get his touchdowns early, or with our defense, it might be a shootout, so you should be fine.
Exactly. It's definitely gonna be a good game.
Right. Buckle in.
And it's in London at 9 o'clock. It's probably
those
cold.
games be so
don't
weird.
play good in the cold.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna have my jersey on because it's too early. So
watch it be a good defensive game. Watch it. Next up, Mike Davis, Cordell Patterson. Davis is seeing around 62% of the backfield snaps and getting around 16 touches per game. He's better viewed as a flex play, even in a juicy matchup against the Jets, allowing the 4th most fantasy points to running backs. Cordell Patterson is seeing around 35% of the backfield snaps and around 12 touches per game. He's been hyper efficient in the passing work out the backfield and scoring TDs. He can't keep this up for long and should come down back to earth. Mike Davis may get the
only motherfucker that want to play for the Falcons this year. Shit.
Right. He the only one showing up. So I just feel like it's a week that Mike Davis may get the work and get the touchdown grind on the ground just because the Jets are not that good at it against a Russian defense, not a good Russian defense. So Patterson is better viewed as a flex play with upside. But be ready for some regression. He has to come back to earth. He's only playing 35% of the snaps at the backfield.
We're gonna get Javar.
That's the thing with him, man. If the snap counts stay the same for Patterson, bro, he's just not gonna keep scoring touchdowns like that, bro. I think he's scoring a touchdown on like every 6 catches, I want to say, bro, and there's just no way that's gonna continue, bro. But if they do start phasing Mike Davis out even more and giving Cordell Patterson more snaps and stuff, then it can, even out a little bit. But with these snap counts, it's not gonna stay the same.
Mike Davis, I think, is a good play this week.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, yep. The Jets allowing the fourth most fantasy points to running back, so that's why I like Mike Davis this week. He should get you some touchdown deodorant this week. Calvin Ridley. He's a must start. He's averaging around 11 targets per game, but have yet to go over 100 yards in a game and only scored 1 touchdown. On the upside, he's seeing the volume and things should turn around soon. The Jets allow the 4th most fantasy points to wide receivers, so feel comfortable finding Calvin Ridley up out there. Man, it's ugly. The other wide receivers behind him are not seeing any targets, so I don't feel comfortable right now. And is your boy back, Gabe?
I think he'll be back this week.
Who cares?
Right. We want to know how many targets he gonna see. So I don't feel comfortable starting no wide receiver but Calvin Ridley at the time. Kyle Pitts, I know it's been disappointing season. It's been frustrating. He has yet to go over 100 yards nor score a touchdown in the game. but lock in, man. You got to keep starting. He has upside. He's the 7th in the lead in targets for tight ends, and he's tied for the most targets within the 10-yard line for tight ends with 3. So with numbers like that, he's getting targeted, and he's getting targeted in the red zone. So he's going to pop eventually. So you got to keep rolling Pitts out there, man, especially in this heavy passing offense. You got to keep rolling them out there. That's pretty much
third most routes among tight ends as well.
All right, so
it's crazy that they thought he was a fourth overall pick.
No, it's crazy. People thought he was going to be just number 1 overall tight end in his rookie year. That's what's crazy.
I never thought that. I thought
still
that
going to be
he
a
just
fucking stud, bro. He's still
no. You should. I thought you should not draft a tight end in the first 4 picks. That's what I thought.
If you wanted him, you got to get him there. He
I thought
that much further.
Look what Michael Pearson is doing out there in Dallas.
That's cool and all, but that don't mean he's gonna have a better career. Like it's just game 3. I mean, to me, Pitts looks kind of lost out there. He just running around, but when he's running, right, but he's running around and doing this, just running around with it. You know, never have his mouthpiece in. So he just running around like a chicken with a head cut off out there on the field. But he's still making plays. So just imagine when he get locked in to get more comfortable, he's gonna be more savvy, and bro, I just think he's gonna be a monster. Yeah, bro, he just running out there, run this route. He ain't even putting no swag to it. So just wait. I can't call it in the first year. Just wait till you get comfortable.
I'm cool on that boy.
That's pretty much for the Falcons. You got anything on the Falcons?
Nah, that's it. Fuck them. On to the next game. Green Bay at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Packers 3-point favorite. Over under 50 points. Aaron Rodgers decided to throw all the touchdowns to not Javonte Adams.
Right.
Randall Cobb for some reason, I guess, like to keep him happy. That was weird. But how you feel about the Packers this Sunday?
The T-head.
Yep, definitely starting Aaron Rodgers. He's back to being Aaron Rodgers like we're used to. As far as, of course, you're starting Adams, you're starting Aaron Jones. As far as sits go, I'm sitting Robert Tonyan. If you take away his 2 game where he caught a touchdown, I know it counts because it happened, but that just goes to show how how much touchdowns help a fantasy player. He's averaging 1.6 half PPR points on 4 targets a game. That is gross, bro. Even for a tight end, that is gross. He did have his highest single game target total last week with 7, but he only caught 2 of them for 8 yards. So man, he's not looking good, man. We expect a touchdown regression from him, but I personally thought that he was going to see more volume. I thought he was going to operate like at that second receiving option out there, but that's just not the case. So he's a sit for me this week, and I honestly wouldn't be opposed to dropping him for someone like a Dawson Knox or Tyler Conklin if he's out there. Or if they're, if those guys are out there, because probably don't want to hold 2 tight ends on your team anyway.
Yeah, I can dig.
As far as French players, I mean, you could probably do worse than Randall Cobb this week as long as MBS stays out. Many thought it would be Tonyan or Lazard to step up into that number 2 role, but it was Rodgers' longtime pal, Randall Cobb. He caught 5 of his 6 targets last week for a nice 69 yards and a touchdown.
Nice.
Then he had 6 targets last week, and he had 5 targets combined through the first 3 weeks. So that just goes to show he is the second receiving option now that MVS is out. Also leads the team with 2 end zone targets. Adam doesn't have any so far, which is super weird. That's not going to stay like that for long. But right now he is leading the team in end zone targets. He also saw his routes jump up to 25 last week after averaging 10 routes a game through the first 3 weeks. His primary matchup this week will be against Mike Hilton, who has a PFF grade of 60 and has allowed a catch rate of 87% so far this year. So deep leagues, he's a decent flex play, maybe like a DFS dart throw. And that is all I have for the Packers. Packers is easy to research, bro. You know
what? That's it.
I want them every week.
I had them last week. It was just like start.
Yeah, bro. It's just wild, bro. As far as Cincinnati goes, my start. Well, I had Tyler Boyd as a start before I knew about T. Higgins. So just got to take this with a grain assault, but he is the current Bengals leader in targets with 29. Caught 23 of them for 259 and a touchdown.
Boyd, right?
He's also been targeted. Yeah, Tyler Boyd. Also been targeted on 27% of his routes and is 14th in the league in yards per route run. He does have the easiest matchup this week out of the Bengals receivers against Sullivan, who has a PFF grade of 44 and allowed a 88% catch rate. So with Higgins returning this week, that is going to cap his ceiling. I don't think because like I said, the first 2 weeks, he was kind of like the odd man out. So I still like him as like a wide receiver 3, though, even with Higgins back, just because of the matchup upgrade that he's going to get this week. And he is that dependable target for Joe Burrow. So wide receiver 3 this week for him. T. Higgins, I also like him with him coming back. So I'm viewing him as a low-end wide receiver 2 because I'm assuming that Jair Alexander is going to take on Jamar Chase, and I'll talk about that matchup a little later on. But it's going to be a potential shootout with it over under being 50 points. So I like T. Higgins as a low-end wide receiver 2 this week. Fringe players, Joe Burrow. He's fine in Superflex leagues, but it might be better options out there in 1 QB leagues. So through 4 weeks, he is 29th in pass attempts. And last year through 4 weeks, he was first in pass attempts. So it's a whole change of philosophy for him or for the whole team. Some other red flags with him is the fact that he's not giving you the rushing floor that he did last year. Last year, he ran, or so far through 4 weeks, he's only rushed 9 times for 13 yards and no rushing touchdowns after rushing for 37 times, 142 yards and 3 touchdowns in his 11 games last year. So that just we know what rushing could do for a quarterback, and he's not doing that. So it just kind of limits his ceiling. Another red flag for him is he's only averaging 1 end zone throw a week so far. He's completed all 4 of them, 4 touchdowns, so he has been super efficient. But he averaged 5 a game last year. So I mean, that shit was insane what he was doing last year, bro. As a rookie, starting from the first week, bro. It's insane, bro. So I mean, he looks really great out there in real life, as a real life NFL quarterback. But it's not really translating to fantasy because you need rushing, and you need to throw the ball a lot, bro. And they're not doing either of those.
We're throwing the ball a lot.
Now, last week, they did unleash him a little bit more, so I would like to see that continue, man. If that does continue, then maybe he'll be an every week start. But until that happens, I'm not trusting him in 1 QB leagues. But 2 QB leagues, he is a safe start.
Me unleash the dragon.
So Mixon didn't practice today, so we have to monitor practice reports. But if he doesn't go, I do like Samaje Perine as a flex option. Not known for superior talent or anything, but volume is king of fantasy. So he's going to get that if Mixon doesn't go. Chris Evans might get worked in, maybe get some more of the passing snaps. But I think Perine will see most of that volume out there. And they're only 3-point underdogs, so it's not like they're not expecting it to be a blowout. My last guy I got is Jamar Chase. Still starting him, but I would like to temper expectations this week. He doing good so far, man. He's second to only Rondale Moore in yards per route run. Caught 17 of his 25 targets for 297 yards and 4 touchdowns. But that touchdown deodorant has been helping him out a lot. Currently the number 9 wide receiver in half PPR leagues, but he's tied for 20th in targets. So that just let you know what that touchdown deodorant could do. And then he's also averaging over 6 points over his expected fantasy production. And then just to add on to that, he gets the Jair Alexander treatment this week, only allowing a 58% catch rate. So I'm still starting him. I still like him as a good play this week, but I'm just downgrading him slightly to wide receiver 3 because I'm tempering expectations in a tough matchup.
I can dig it.
Boom. Dig it. Shout out to Wesley, but I didn't even see it. This
Wesley.
Start 2. Wesley Love. That's hard. It's a hard name. Pause. Start 2. Woods, Pittman, and A-Rob. Well, we just had a whole discussion on sitting A-Rob.
Pittman, Wood, and then A-Rob. That's the order I got him in for this week.
Yeah,
agree
for sure. He'll be ranked. A-Rob will be ranked out of my top 24 this week.
Yeah, you don't want to drop him, man, but you got to sit him on the bench until he shows you that he's good now. He's not been good.
Make
Get
sure
your
you
ass on the
like
bench,
and
bro.
subscribe. On to the next game. We got the New England Patriots 9-point favorites over the Houston Texans with an over-under of 39.5 points. It's probably like the lowest one I've seen in a long time.
That's gross.
The Patriot starters, we got Damian Harris, even with Bolin.
But let's go with Bolin.
All right. Even with Bolin was targeted more last week. Harris did run more routes than him out the backfield, only resulting in 2 targets, but did catch both for 30 yards. We expected it to be a dud on the ground for them last week, so I'm not really surprised that he didn't really do nothing against that Tampa Bay defense. But now he gets Houston. It's a perfect bounce back game for him. They're giving up the 9th most fantasy points to the running back position, so I like Damian Harris this week. Jacoby Myers saw double-digit targets. That's now back-to-back weeks, still on the road to trying to find the end zone. It's pretty crazy. With the massive
walking anomaly.
Yeah.
Sorry.
With that massive target load, pause. He is getting he is no way you can sit him. You know what I mean? Hopefully he gets a touchdown this week. The Texans are surprisingly allowing the 7th fewest points to the wide receiver position, but that could be just because they funnel all the action to the running game. They only gave up 2 touchdowns all year to the wide receiver position, so that is something to be on alert about. But if he gets double-digit targets, you got to keep rolling him out there.
I don't think it's a week for him. His ADOT is 9, even though he get that volume, but his ADOT is 9. You know, what's Mac Jones ADOT? That's the question.
Probably not too much.
Right, Mac Jones.
So if it's not too much,
Mac Jones ADOT is 5.5. So right. So we thought Jacoby Myers is around 9 yards. And I think Jacoby get under 10 targets this week with the game matchup play with them just getting up. So I don't know. I just don't. He already is just a flex play, and if he's not gonna get that, if the matchup don't work well for him, I just think it may be.
He has so many targets without a touchdown. I will bet every single week until he scores a touchdown that this is going to be the week that he scores a touchdown, bro. It's just, bro. It's going to happen eventually, bro. So I'll be wrong until it happens, bro. Because
there's no way he's on my bench,
bro. It's ridiculous.
No way he's on my bench. Other starts, I got Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. Both saw 6 targets last week and the end zone. Both top 15 in targets amongst tight ends. Houston's giving up the 2nd most points to the tight end position and allowed 3 touchdowns to the tight end position this year. So I think he's cool to go ahead and roll out there. A couple fringe starts. I got my boy Brandon Bolin. Second. He's in his 2nd week getting work with James White being out. Saw 6 targets and now 10 targets in the last 2 weeks. The targets make him a flexible option, but the game script may not require him to be thrown to as much just because they're going to run the ball on the ground. So he's a fringe possibility if you're just in a rough spot. Hopefully you get some targets. Kendrick Bourne, now with the same amount of targets as Nelson Aguilar, 13 in the last 2 weeks, only been targeted on 14% of his routes run, and he will see Desmond King in coverage, but he is currently allowing a 78% catch rate, and volume is always key here. So if he's getting those 7 targets a week, I feel like you can feel comfortable rolling him out there. Nelson Aguilar, I just never want to start Nelson Aguilar, so I don't like him.
I don't like none of the wide receivers except Myers. I can dig.
Yeah, I wouldn't see nowhere where I would start Bourne, but
this week.
It just looked. I mean, when I was looking over it,
even with the tight ends, they had yet to see 7 targets or go 50 yards in the game. I mean, you could try it this week. They got a juicy matchup, but I just don't like their situation, bro.
On the Houston fringe starter, we got Brandon Cook. Continues his at least 7 targets in each game streak going against the Patriots defense with a poor quarterback. I mean, it's just horrible. I can't believe I thought he was going to be good. This could be the week to pivot from Cooks, in my opinion.
I think he provide a safe floor.
Damn, motherfucker, let me finish why I feel that way.
I thought it was the question. The way he said, "Is this the week to pivot?" I like,
I ain't say no if.
okay, go ahead.
But yeah, man, I think this might be the week to pivot from Brandon Cooks. If you must start him, the volume is what you depend on there. Like we always say, volume is key. Jalen Mills will be in coverage most of the day, but he's only allowing a 50% catch rate. And y'all know how I feel about top options, top catching options, or top best play on the team options going to play in New England. So yeah. Now what you say about Brandon Cooks?
I was just gonna say I feel like Brandon Cooks has a safe floor, but no upside. Decent flex play. Like you said, if you got somebody else who has higher ceiling this week, I can dig it. But Brandon Cooks should still have a safe floor, 9 to 10 points at least.
But I just thought of the funniest shit ever. Javar wanted to get that off because Javar fucked up the games this week. So he said, "Let me get my shit."
No, for real.
Oh shit!
And it's like he said, is this the week you do not start Brandon Cooks? I thought it was a question. I'm like, oh, my bad, bro.
I said this could be. Anyway, Houston sits. Everybody else wearing a Houston jersey. On to the next game. We got hold on, let me answer the question. Shout out to Matthew. I ain't gonna say your last name because I butcher names, bro. But make sure you like and subscribe. Trade Gibson and Sutton for Chubb and full PPR. Is that a good idea?
I don't like it, bro.
I don't like it. Not full PPR. Because in full PPR, Gibson and Chubb is like pretty much the same thing. And then you're just giving away Sutton.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. It's Sutton should lead in targets. Judy gonna need some time to catch up. Sutton should turn around for you.
Yeah, I like it.
For
sure. On to the next game. We got the Tennessee Titans at the Jacksonville Jaguars with an over/under of 48 points and 48.5 points. Hold on, let me answer this question. Shout out to Lark. Pick 3 starters: PPR, Lamb, Debo, Lockett, Brown, Marvin Jones, Devonta Smith, and Emmanuel Sanders. Motherfuckers be having great teams. Hey, make sure you like and subscribe if you ain't already liked and subscribe.
I know I'll top Lamb and Debo for sure. I'll top.
They go in the order.
No, not this week.
I
would switch Brown. The only thing I would switch is Brown and Lockett.
Right, I was about to say Lamb,
Antonio
Debo.
Brown?
Is that Antonio Brown or I'm thinking Hollywood Brown?
Right, I don't know
if that Hollywood.
Right.
If it's Hollywood, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Hollywood. What is it? He said, "Yeah, flex is tough." What is that? Is that Hollywood or Antonio Brown? But either way it go, if it's not if it's Antonio Brown, then I'm going Debo. Yeah, and it's in order.
Marquise.
Oh yeah. So I like
Marquise
over Lockett. So Lamb, Debo, Marquise. That's your 3 right there.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man, appreciate that.
Like, subscribe. We got you.
Tennessee Titans at the Jacksonville Jaguars over/under 48.5 points. We got last week Tennessee Titans basically having nobody out there to throw the ball to. Derrick Henry still got his Derrick Henry yard, so that's always gonna be there. What's the status on the wide receivers out there?
AJ Brown practicing. I don't know about
AJ Brown came back to practice. Julio missed practice, so
yeah.
I'm still. I mean, if I had to say it, if they thought they would play today, I would say no again, because hamstring injuries, man, they ain't no joke for anybody, but especially receivers, man. So I think they will err on the side of cautions, but they lost to the Jets last week without him, so I think they might be like, nah,
that's what I'm saying.
Motherfuckers got to come back, bro. So
they gotta have somebody to throw the ball to, and the Jaguars, they're a pretty good team for the wide receiver to have. So it would be a pretty disgusting thing if the wide receivers weren't there. Let me see how many points they're giving up. Who are they playing again?
Playing the Titans are playing the Jaguars. You just said it, so just
boy, I'll be on the sticky icky. They giving up 23.2 yards a game. 23.2 points a game. So I mean, it's an okay matchup. If AJ Brown does come back, Tanny, I don't think that's what y'all talking about. If the wide receivers come back, I like Tanny, but if they not, I don't think you can trust Tanny right there.
Right. So yeah. So start AJ Brown if you're coming back. I think it's a long shot for Julio. Chester Rogers, he had a decent game with all the guys out. He caught 5 of his 6 passes for 63 yards, and his yards per catch was around 13. So if you're in a pinch, I don't mind him. Other than that, you just starting Derrick Henry and not Tannehill. So Derrick Henry is really the only person you're starting on this team at the moment.
On the other side of the ball, we saw your boy Trevor Lawrence come back and have a pretty cool game last week. James Robinson's taking over that backfield, getting that running back one type workload again. He played the most number, I think it's either the most number or most percentage of snaps last week at the running back position.
What you call it? Hurt? Oh, he's set, right? High set.
Yeah. You got to pay attention to practice reports because it might be capped a little bit if he does come back. I just don't think that it's not going to use him. So, but
even that week before when High was in the game, you know what I'm saying? They still was like I feel like something clicked.
James Robinson was like 59% of the snaps or some shit that week.
Yeah,
but he was efficient though. And that's
but he ain't gonna do that every week though. His value last week came from him playing all the freaking snaps, bro.
He got a touchdown and he had 6 targets and caught 6 of them that week. So I think James Robinson is you gotta have him
starting him regardless.
Somewhere. Yeah, you starting him in your flex somewhere. He's putting up some production and he's getting in the end zone, so he's gonna be startable. Without Chark out now, I think. This is gonna be the week to see it, but I think Marvin Jones and Chenault, they some decent flex option too. Shark is gone. There's nobody else to fight over targets. The tight end Sparrow get targets, but I think these are 2 guys that value about to rise over the next couple of weeks.
And Tennessee is allowing the most points to receivers, so you're starting both of them with confidence this week. And Trevor Lawrence, he showed. That was great to see him. What he did last week, bro. He was rushing out there. He was out there making plays, bro. So I'm glad to see that they finally let him run more, and I hope that continues this week because he just looks like a rushing player out there.
Right. He ran 6 times against Arizona and ran 8 times against Cincinnati. He keep that up and just last week he didn't get no touch. He got 1 rushing touchdown. So if he keep that rushing floor up and get 2 touchdowns per game, we talking a weekly starter. But
man, keep your head up out there, Urban Meyer. Don't let them boys do you like that, bro.
He did it to himself. He did it to himself.
Shout out my man. Shout out my man.
I seen a tweet. Somebody was like, Urban Meyer was definitely drinking brown liquor. That is brown liquor behavior, bro. I was like, these folks are wild, bro.
If you cannot go to the bar and have a young mistress, gyrate ever so softly in front of you, not on you.
The point of that he did that after not flying home with the team, which
we just lost. Y'all made me mad.
Who gives a fuck? You're a millionaire, bro. You're brought in to motherfucking turn the franchise around, bro. I
needed space.
Nah, fuck that. You have a lot of space. You have a lot of space in a minute if you keep that shit up.
He said
I need a young tenderoni.
Nah, bro. He said he wasn't flying home with the team because he was hanging with family. We see what family.
Where you from? Where you from, Alabama? What you mean? What the fuck?
Hey, man, that's what the point say. He was staying back with family. So
hey, man, I'm just trying to make sure everything good at the crib, bro.
Oh, good. I hope he turn it around, man. I hope he turn it around.
Bro, but did y'all hear the story though, bro? Where they said at first he didn't address the whole team as a whole. He was addressing like certain position groups, and I don't know what position group it was, but like he talked to him, bro, and they said right when he left, bro, like the locker room just erupted in laughter, bro. Like they knew he was on some bullshit, pretty much. Like, bro,
you know what time it is, bro.
You seen that picture? Shaq looking at him, Shaq right behind him. You looking at him mad. The D lineman right behind him. You looking at him mad, like good night, bro. All right.
Shout out Kevin. Drop Myles Gaskins for JD McKissick. Oh my god, is that what Myles Gaskin is now?
Are we there yet?
Not yet.
Let me see.
You just got a hole, bro.
Unfortunately,
it didn't look like. I mean, what the fuck, bro? You see if Michael Brown or Ahmed was doing something, but they're not doing shit out
it's
there,
so
bro.
weird.
What, bro? Like,
there's no reason why he shouldn't be doing this, bro.
He got 23% of the back.
Michael Brown got the start. That shit was. I was like, bro, what?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. So hold on one more week, man. I don't know, man. I might.
They about to get a wide. They about to get a running back.
Yeah, that's ugly.
Draft.
Both of these situations ugly, but I just don't. You just gonna have weeks when you not gonna know when to start McKissick unless
definitely can't start. Definitely can't start Gaskin though.
Right.
Yeah. Make sure you like and subscribe, homie. One more from my boy Lark. We got another pick one, Alex Collins. That's by my Samaj P. Ryan or Jeremy McNichols. Well, not Jeremy McNichols.
I think he's talking about more like a stash. Who would you rather stash? I'm going to assume.
Oh, is it starting or picking? Oh, I want Collins and P. Ryan right now.
No, yeah, I like it in that order.
Probably be Collins, yeah.
I like it in the order you have.
Because he has some. He slick has standalone value. He was pretty much like last week was pretty much an even split.
Right.
And even before then, he was getting worked in, like throughout more than these other guys have been. So, I would go Alex Collins and then P. Ryan without mixing practicing, and then McNichols.
Yeah, I agree. Same.
I had this written up, but I didn't say it because Chris Carson got hurt. But I think he is officially split in the backfield with Collins. He's now played less than 50% of the snaps in back-to-back weeks. And in week 4, he only had more rushes than Collins, who vultured the touchdown. And we all know Collins getting the targets. Let's see. But are we done with that game?
Yeah, we had.
Nichols won you last week. There, what kind of matchup was that?
But they had no other options.
Nichols had.
He got a touchdown. I want to say.
Yeah, he got a touchdown deodorant.
Yeah.
He had 12 targets. Oh, okay.
Nobody else to throw to out there, bro. That's just crazy.
Yeah, and they might. So that's something to look forward to. If he'll only be usable for right. He'll only be able to be used this week. So if the wide receivers are missing again, I can definitely see rearrange. I still like Collins, then McNichols, then I still like the same order. No, for this week, do I like
this week?
Yeah, I think I still like the same order. Samaj should get all the carries if Mixon is out.
But if it's this week, though, one thing I will say is, do you trust Collins on a Thursday night? You know what I'm saying? That's something to think about.
Yeah, he already get 50% he already get 50% of the rushes, and he looked decent getting them. I do.
Yeah, for sure. The Denver Broncos at the Steelers. Steelers 1-point favorite. Over under 40 points. Teddy Bridgewater dealing with a little bit of injury situation right now. How you feel about Denver Broncos and the Steelers? The Steelers is so trash for still starting Ben Roethlisberger. It's really unbelievable.
Yeah, Big Ben, bro. Yeah. He's
I don't even call him Big Ben no more, bro.
Just think about it. He
little Ben.
They wanted him back, bro. I was like, Ben, come back.
Exactly. They had a chance to get rid of him, bro. But whatever.
Hashtag start Dwayne Haskins,
and
bro.
then they will start talking about extending him. Like this is
what is going on, man?
My bad. Go ahead.
Speaking of Big Ben, you're not starting him, bro. He hasn't had a game scoring over 13.2 points so far, and he had a season low of 8 last week. And add to the fact that Denver has also been lights out against quarterbacks, allowing the second fewest points to the position. So he's a sit even in Superflex League. I would start a position player over him. As far as the other guys go, of course, you're starting Najee Harris, target monster out there. Deontay Johnson, man, he returned from injury last week, and he just slid right back into that target hog that he was, man. You remember last coming into this year, one of the main factors against Deontay was his drops. Well, according to PFF, through 3 games, he has 35 targets and 0 drops. So
you see right there, Jabbar, how Carlos asked the question, but he didn't really ask the question. Like he answered it himself.
It was a rhetorical.
His tone was different, though. You gave a pause. You was like, is this the week to sit Cooks? Like he took a whole breath.
I don't know if I couldn't even get the words out of my mouth.
All right,
so he's just the latest example that drops shouldn't be a major factor in determining their value, man. He's a stud, bro. 31% target share, and he is the number 9 receiver in half PPR points per game with 15.6. Denver is middle of the road against receivers, but I would feel comfortable starting Deontay as at least a top 15 play, even if it was a bad matchup. So he's a smash start this week. Chase Claypool, he's seen at least 9 targets in 2 out of his 3 starts so far. Has a 22% target share, but he's only wide receiver 38 in points per game. Volume is great for him. He just hasn't had any touchdown. So that without that touchdown deodorant, his fantasy production does seem a bit disappointing. For everybody rostering him without Jamaica. He's also the downfield stretcher. So with Big Ben struggling this year, like his arm is shot, bro, that may be another factor as to why he's struggling. So he might not see a lot of blow-up games this year. We probably just got to adjust our expectations for Claypool. But with the 22% target share, I think the touchdowns will come. So I'm fine starting him as a middling wide receiver 3 this week. And I am sitting Juju. Scored 7 or less points in all but 1 game so far, and his only double-digit point game came in week 2 when he had a rushing touchdown. So that's not going to happen every week. 16% target share so far sucks, and he's only averaging 32 receiving yards a game. Low 8 out of 6.7, which is not unusual since he plays out of the slot. Problem is he's not doing anything after the catch, so his ceiling is just super low. Unless you're in a full PPR league, which I would still kind of like be iffy on starting him, but any other format, I'm sitting Juju this week. And Pat Firemouth, he's still just a stash. Ebron is, I guess they trust him more blocking out there because he's not. He
needs every little thing he can get. Exactly. Hey, shout out to you, Wesley, bro. We had answered your question, but I guess you had went away. Make sure you like and subscribe. You do a little notification so you get the next one. But I think we went. Where did we go?
No, he added in CH.
He added in
CH, Pittman, Woods, and Robinson for me.
Yeah, it's just the same, but add CH.
Yeah, in the front.
I need a wide receiver 2 and a flex.
Oh, so CH.
Yeah,
yep.
And the 2 wide receivers we are.
So one receiver, and then a flex player.
Yep. CH and Pittman, the top 2 players. Yep.
So you like Pittman over Woods?
I like Pittman over Woods. He's seeing like
Woods CH.
Pittman's seeing like 11 targets in the last 2 games. And let me see how many yards he done had.
They're going against Baltimore Monday Night Football, not trusting it.
Yeah, I like Pittman. He done seen 12 targets against Tennessee, 8 targets against Miami, and had at least 60 yards in both. So that's like that's a walking 10 points with upside.
If that's the miracle you waiting on, Michael Pittman with a no ankles Chris Carson, I can't do it.
He did it last year with no ankles Chris Carson and getting guarded by what's the top corner out there in Miami?
But I'm talking about they don't have that pass rush that Baltimore about to bring to him. Shout out to Clamp Easy. I don't know that.
Clamp Easy, yeah.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe, bro, and give a like. Who should my RB1 and RB2 this week? Jonathan Taylor, Daryl Henderson, Swift, Damian Williams. Damn. You start all of them. You got some flex positions out there.
Henderson got a gravy matchup for sure.
For sure. Like Henderson.
All right. Jonathan Taylor has been coming on lately. Baltimore is not best against the run, so I like Taylor and Henderson for me. Let me see who Detroit.
I gotta find somewhere to put Swift on the field.
Yeah. You got to, but it's just you have your weeks when you find Swift or not. I just think Henderson and Taylor, they're gonna for sure have 15 points or more.
I'm going Taylor and Swift, man. I can't.
I'm going
Swift,
yeah.
bro.
I'm going Taylor.
Too many targets out the backfield. That was a weird week last week. After a week, they say he's gonna be featured more. They say, "Ha, gotcha."
Gotcha.
So maybe he meant this week he'll do that. So I'm going Swift and Taylor.
Yeah, I like it. Oh, who we got? We got one more question. We got some more.
Yeah, we got a couple.
Nope. We still got. I still didn't do Denver yet.
No, he talking about the questions. We got a couple more questions. Yeah.
Clap nuts. Make sure you subscribe. If I package Swift and Robert Woods in a trade, what could I get back? Would it be worth it or just hold both?
So you could probably get some if you just got to find a team that needs like a running back. If somebody needs a running back, they'll be more prone and be higher on Swift than what you are, and then you should be able to get something back you like. But with Swift in the PPR league, you should be able to get something.
I would think you can. You wouldn't even have to package. I wouldn't even package Swift. I feel like Swift, I should be able to 1-for-1 you with one of your best wide receivers, whichever one you like less.
Yeah, it depends
in the redraft league.
Like maybe because when I see a package like that, I'm thinking he's trying to upgrade somewhere. So if you're trying to upgrade at running back, maybe go for like a Eckler or
that's
probably the guy I would go for. Yeah, but
Aaron
Eckler,
Jones.
his floor is higher. It showed and his ceiling matches is Swift. Receiver wise, Tyreek Hill, Javonte Adams. I would shoot for the moon for that for studs, bro. Like you never know what you can get. I'm just saying who he should be targeting. If you can't get a top 3 player at the position that you're trying to upgrade, then I would just hold him.
Yes, somebody need that on a team, especially everybody's team is not packed. I mean, everybody's team is not stacked out. So you get some.
Last one we got Alicia Core. Should I trade CD Gibson for Debo? Wait. Nope. In a full PPR league, I have
10-man league or something?
I don't know.
Is this 10-man league? You can't start it. You can't start CD and Gibson? What's the problem? Because I think
he has Kamara, JT, Hopkins, Evans, and DK. No, I wouldn't do that. No, CD is a top 10 wide receiver.
Straight balling this year, bro.
Getting a lot of target share.
He ain't doing that. He ain't been doing that much more than CD though.
In the last 2 weeks,
but he's 2 of his long touchdown plays were on blown coverages. So that's why you can't, focus too much on the box score, man. You got to look at everything else too. So, and then CD is a stud, bro. Like he had 1 week where they played the Eagles and they didn't need to pass like that. Then last week was pretty much his only bad game, but he still had a 23% target share. They just didn't throw it like that. Like they've been really good on the ground. So better days are ahead for CD, and then Gibson, he's a stud. So I am keeping that package.
You don't need that trade, bro. You do not need that trade.
Join the session. All right, so we got you. Go ahead and finish your popular shit.
On to Denver. Starts for me, Cortland Sutton. He has been pretty quiet since blowing up in week 2, averaging 6.2 half PPR points since that game. The good news is he's still the clear number 1 option out there. He leads the receivers in targets, yards, and routes. And the Steelers are a bit of a funnel defense. They are tough to run against, but they're allowing the 6th most points to receivers. So I would feel better if I don't know. I think Sutton owners would feel better if Bridgewater does take the week off because Locke throws those YOLO passes, and he had his breakout year, in the season where Locke was getting this, got most of the starts out there. So either way, though, I think Sutton is a solid wide receiver play this week. Noah Fant is also a start for me, tied for 11th in routes run among tight ends. He's targeted on 23% of his routes, which is the second highest. 6th among tight ends in targets, and he's averaging 9.2 half PPR points per league or points per week. I'm sorry. He does have a tough matchup this week with the Steelers allowing the 11th fewest points to tight ends. But with him being second on the team in targets, I'm still viewing him as a top 6-7 tight end this week. For him, I would rather have Teddy Bridgewater. But either way, temper expectation because it is a pretty tough matchup. And it's only a 40-point over-under, so it's not going to be too many points being scored. If he does start, Teddy Bridgewater is a fringe play for me this week. He has a safe floor. It's been solid in real life, but he just doesn't have too much upside as a fantasy QB. Not counting last week where he only played a half. He only has 1 end zone throw still to through 3 weeks, and his average 11 yards on the ground. So not giving me that rushing upside, not really going to the end zone like that. So he's a fringe play. As a QB2 in Superflex, I'm fine, but I don't think you need to start him in 1 QB leagues. So that's how I feel about him. And then Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams, both middling plays this week. Tough matchup against the Steelers. They're allowing the 6th fewest points to running backs through 4 weeks. Here are their splits. Gordon's averaging 15 opportunities a game, 84 scrimmage yards, 2 end zone carries, and 2 touchdowns. Williams is averaging 14 opportunities a game, 59 scrimmage yards, 3 end zone carries, and 1 touchdown. So, this is probably the most 50-50 split in all of the league right now. and it's a low over under, so you just gotta temper expectation for them. If one of them went down or something like that, not wishing injury, but if it did happen, they would be every week plays, man. But as long as they're splitting like this, it's gonna be like flex plays. I'm still gonna hold to my theory that Javonte is gonna take over as the season goes on. Analytics wise, he's crushing them. More missed tackles for us, higher elusive rating, but none of that matters until he takes over the backfield. I just wanted to point that out again. So he is. They're both fringe flex plays this week for me. Tim Patrick finally came back down to earth, he scored 5.4 points last week after averaging double-digit points during the first 3 weeks. Bridgewater leaving the game early could have something to do with that. I think that he's kind of more like we said when Judy went down, that Tim Patrick probably benefited the most because he's more that route runner guy. So if Bridgewater sits, I probably would just go ahead and sit him if Bridgewater doesn't play this week. Have more of a decision to make if he does start. He is third on the team and third option in the passing game if you include Fant, and they don't throw that much. So really just depends on your other options out there, man. I don't think he will sink you if you start him as a flex, but you might have some guys with a higher upside this week. So you just gotta decide what your other options out there.
I can dig it.
And that's all I got.
Me too. Lark, shout out you for rocking with us for the show, bro. Thoughts on Lamb for Hunt? No. Or Devontae Smith for Gordon? I think, like Carlos said, I feel like Gordon is. It sounds like you need a running back. Yeah.
Yep.
I would trade Smith for Hunt. I like Smith for Hunt more than I like.
Yeah, if you could do Devontae Smith for Hunt, I would be way easily do that.
Yeah.
But either of the other ones, man, I'm keeping them, man.
There's no way Lamb for Hunt. No way. If I'm trading Lamb, I need a running back, one back.
Somewhere around there. If I'm trading Lamb, that back 10 running back somewhere around there. I need a running back. I got so many wide receivers. Yeah, you just got to figure out. You're giving away a lot of value with that Lamb for Hunt for sure, man. I know.
If you trade a Lamb, you got to shoot higher.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You could trade Lamb, but just get a better running back.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me see. Let me see. What game we on? This is the last game, right?
2 more. Cleveland and Chargers.
All right, so we got the Cleveland Browns 1-point favorite at the Los Angeles Chargers with an over-under of 48.5 points. Baker Mayfield, he just doesn't have to throw the ball that much, and we already knew that coming into this year. But it got a little bit more scary last week when he threw for under 200 yards, only completed 15 passes. He missed a touchdown throw to OBJ on the sideline. He was open. Yeah, I know. I saw the one where he was he was like running wide open. So that's disheartening for the OBJ truthers out there. The problem is he will always be dependent on the run game, so he just would never be good for fantasy football. He's only thrown 2 touchdowns in one game over 250 passing yards this year. Chargers are allowing the 4th fewest fantasy points and a top 5 pass rushing defense. So you definitely have to go ahead and sit Baker Mayfield.
Hold on. You like that one better? I like that one better. I mean, I still think, he's still going to be in the 50-50 split for a while, but hopefully at the end of the season, he'll take over. He got more upside than Melvin Gordon.
I do like that one better, but just remember, bro, you said you have a lot of receivers, man. You only need to start 2 running backs, bro. So if it's a start 3 receiver league and a flex, you can start 4 receivers and it's okay with your running back being a weak spot if you have stud receivers like that. But I do like that one best. That's like the best one. That's the one I would take over all the other ones you asked us. So
I wouldn't force it,
but you don't have to trade just because you don't have a lot of running backs, man. You only need to start 2 of them.
Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt now finding the end zone on back-to-back weeks, leaving Chubb out on both weeks. Chubb still has at least 20 touches in those games, only 1 target through the last 2 weeks. Chubb's ceiling is always going to be capped because he doesn't get targets, and if he doesn't see the end zone, his numbers just to be off, even though he does get the 20 touches or 20 rushes for 80 yards or whatever it might be. He just needs to get into the end zone. Chargers are the middle of the pack in rushing defense, allowed the 16th most fantasy points to the running back position. They have allowed 200-yard rushers this year, but only allowed a running back to reach the end zone 3 times this year. That's on the bottom half of the NFL. So of course we roll Hunt and Chubb out there both. I mean, hopefully Chubb finds the end zone. It's disheartening, man, for a man to get that many touches, not getting to the end zone. OBJ now, back, you know what I'm saying, off the injury, 16 targets in 2 games, caught 7 of them for 104 yards, no touchdowns, but like we mentioned, you know what I'm saying, he was missed on a couple. Carlos said 3. I admit the volume has been there, and that's what you wanted to see from for OBJ truthers. Another week with Jarvis Landry being out, the Chargers are second in the league in fantasy points allowed to the wide receiver position. We're depending on the volume here, and hopefully he gets that positive progression and ends up in the end zone. He's received rookie Asante Samuel Jr. in coverage. He's allowing a 63% catch rate. It's pretty much all Baker has to throw to out there besides Kareem Hunt. So you got to roll OBJ out there as one of those back end wide receiver 2s. You know what I'm saying? Wide receiver 3 if you get into the
he should be a wide receiver 3 on your team where you drafted him. So yeah, I like OBJ as a wide receiver 3.
The Browns tight end, although Hooper finished with 5 targets last week, he only caught 1. Baker has showed us that he can make the tight end reliable. But the Chargers are allowing the 4th most points to the tight end position. I just couldn't depend on those guys. So they're both fringe starts for me. Or Austin Hooper is a fringe start for me. Because he could just find the end zone. If you chasing touchdown, you chasing points. I could see, especially if the tight end landscape is like real bare out there. I could see that.
I don't like it.
I feel like, how you feel?
I don't like it, bro. Getting what? He done seen 3 targets in 2 games and 5 in 2 games, and he only caught what? So what? That's 16 targets, and he only caught 11 of them. He died around 9. I mean,
Roger said 16 targets and only caught 11 of them. He almost talked himself out of that shit because he.
But he ain't doing nothing.
He wouldn't catch 5.
His floor is 2 and still in his 10. I don't know, bro. I think he can do better.
On the other side of the ball, we got Justin Herbert continued that hot streak now, 7 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks, 5th in adjusted completion percentage, tied for 2nd in end zone passing attempts, and scoring a touchdown on 3.7% of his end zone passes.
Start thinking.
The 7th in the league. The Browns are allowing the 11th fewest points to the quarterback position and have the 4th graded pass rush according to PFF. So that is something to monitor. But Herbert is completing a 68% completion clip when blitzed. So there shouldn't be a problem with that deadly accuracy that he got in that powerful arm. Austin Eckler, like Carlos mentioned, is going crazy. The number 2 quarterback in half PPR leagues.
Running back.
The Browns are allowing the 2nd fewest fantasy points to the running back position, however, and the 5th fewest receptions to the running backs. They have only allowed 1 touchdown to the running back position, so you're really just hoping that the volume here, you're going to start Austin Eckler because you start your studs. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Mike Williams with his first disappointing day, only 4 targets last week, catching 1 of them for 11 yards against a rookie for most of the day too, like a 4th string.
That was so weird, bro.
He missed them.
He missed 2 cornerbacks. Their top 2 cornerbacks are down. And he did miss them. He missed them on 2 deep targets.
Right.
But that's not what Mike Williams is anymore this year, bro. Like we want to see them intermediate passes, bro. So they had to do something, bro. They did something against Mike Williams, bro. Well, really to Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen was pretty disappointing too. But they did whatever they did work, bro, because them guys were not involved like that, bro. So but I'm throwing it out. I'm not worried about either of them.
Right, you got to roll with the punches and rolling back out there. Keenan Allen, like you said, he saw his normal 11, you know what I'm saying, normal double-digit target share, double-digit targets. He only had 36 yards and no touchdowns, though, so that's pretty gross. He only had 1 touchdown all year, so we're hoping that Keenan Allen finds the end zone. It seems like Mike Williams, you know what I'm saying, but we were begging for him to find it. Now he's taking Keenan Allen's space, so hopefully they don't butcher each other, but Allen is running 63% of his routes from the slot this year. He will be facing Troy Hill in coverage, who is at 72 grade by PFF and is only
Is that me?
Might need to get Gabe a hub too.
Boy, Gabe got that Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, boy, everybody internet fucking up today.
But what Gabe was
confused right now. Look at him. Look confused. Look at him.
Can y'all hear
we
me?
can't hear you. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh,
man.
damn. What's the last thing I said?
Something about I think you still on Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen.
Yeah. Start Keenan Allen. He froze again. That face is all right, bro. We're gonna let Gabe come back. Is it anybody else on that team? Jared Cook.
Jared Cook I would start him over Hooper.
Yeah, I definitely start Jared Cook over Hooper.
For sure.
I feel more comfortable. He got a better quarterback and a system that passes a little bit more. So yeah.
But I was just saying, I think it'll be a rough day for the wide receivers out there. I still starting both of them, but it'll be a rough day against that Cleveland Browns defense. Greedy Williams on the outside is the top 3 cornerback according to PFF. So that's who Mike Williams will be seeing a lot of that day. So, just temper your expectations. It could be back-to-back weeks where you might be disappointed if they don't get into the end zone.
I hope not. I need him. Face says.
Shit, that's the end of the show. We've been on here for a minute, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. Next episode.
We still got the Giants in Dallas, don't we?
Oh, shit. Damn, y'all ain't trying to do that next episode.
He's ready to be off.
Let go.
Go ahead.
Wrap it up.
You want to run through? I'll run through it right quick.
Yeah, we can run through that. Go ahead.
All right, that boy Gabe.
Giants are 7-point underdogs, 52.5-point over/under.
All right. In my notes, I got up for Danny Dimes. He is balling right now. He might be the steal of the year. Last week, he torched the Aints for 402 yards, 2 touchdowns on 40 passes attempts. Bro might be matchup proof at this point. Last week, I was like, is he matchup proof? Do you sit him against the Saints? Sit him this week and see. And from here on out, man, it might be safe to start him, especially against the Cowboys. The Cowboy defense will be food to this man. Shaquan Barclay is looking like himself again in the past 2 weeks. He's been heavily involved in the rushing and passing game. He's back, baby. So he's matchup proof. You starting Barkley every week. I got Kenny Galladay, Kadarius Toney, and John Ross. Shepard and Slayton have yet to practice this week. It could be in danger of missing another week. The Cowboys are allowed 45 fantasy points in PPR leagues to the wide receiver group in each week. Galladay is a locked wide receiver too and could go for 100 yards in back-to-back games. Kadarius Toney is a great flex option if Shepard and Slayton don't play. He played well last week, catching 6 of his 9 targets for 78 yards, and he averaged 13
give him
yards.
his props. He wants his props. Give him his props.
Now, I remember Jabbar.
What?
Go ahead.
Laughing.
Good
Look, Jabbar caught amnesia.
I mean, yeah, he ain't been on all week. I said I wouldn't have
Hey,
started.
Jabbar is crazy, bro.
I looked
Jabbar
over
is
and I
nuts.
was looking confused as hell, bro.
Like, I wouldn't have started him. Like, what's wrong with saying I didn't trust starting?
No, you said he was trash.
No, I didn't say try to say.
And when I traded for him in the league, you said, "Oh, that was trash," but you just be hating. That's why.
I mean, I remember
You was super excited about him.
All right, I remember. You be going.
I like
it. I get it.
I like Kadarius
I still
Toney.
wouldn't trust him in redraft though.
Right, I don't know.
That's why I did that in
I
Dynasty.
get
You
it.
talking about Dynasty?
He does look pretty good out there though. I can't flex.
Gabe be going on these
football, you
early
play
round
football,
victory laps, and then come later on, he looking like a damn donut. So we'll just watch out for Gabe. So I got Kadarius Toney. If Shepard and Slayton don't play this week, I like Kadarius Toney. He showed up his show. He can produce when called upon. So once Shepard and Slayton back, it's something to talk about. He playing the same position where Shepard would be. Shepard was Danny Dimes' favorite target at the time. So we got to see what happened when Shepard come back, and then you can have your victory lap, Gates. So you did it a lot of bit too early. But I got John Ross as a boom and bust play. He's better suited for DFS. Evan Ingram have yet to go over 30 yards in a game. He's averaging 7 yards per catch. He's a sit. Anything else on that side of the ball besides Kadarius Toney? Upside that Gabe likes. All right, moving on to the other side, we got Dak Prescott, must start each week. He has scored at least 3 passing touchdowns in every game but one that was against the Chargers. Only thing I'm worried about is his attempts. He has attempted no more than 27 passes in the last 3 games. That's my only worry. He has not thrown the ball more than 27 times in the past 3 games, and it showed in Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb numbers. But to the backfield, Zeke and Tony Pollard. Zeke is getting the volume in the rushing department, but not the passing department. Nevertheless, he is killing it on the ground with at least 70 rushing yards and 1 TD in the last 3 games. Zeke is back. You start him every week. Pollard has received at least 10 touches in the last 3 games. He is basically TD dependent at this point. But in a game that should be high scoring, I don't mind Pollard in your flex play in deeper leagues. Moving on to Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. The last 2 weeks has not been nice in the passing department for the Cowboys, but things should change this week. Cooper and Lamb are must starts as they are going against the defense, allowing the 4th most fantasy points in PPR leagues to the wide receiver group. They have not seen over 5 targets in the last 2 games, so I think it's safe to say they will see over 5 targets in this game. Dalton Schultz. He's playing a little over 70% of the tight end snap. He has seen at least 7 targets in the last 2 games. He has caught 6 targets for at least 58 yards and 1 TD in the last 2 games. He has a plus matchup against the Giants, allowing the 4th most points to tight ends in PPR leagues. Schultz is looking like an every week starter. He's looking like a Dak favorite target in the red zone. You got to go with the number. 7 targets a week, and you get some red zone licks. He's looking like a start each week for now.
His name is not Blake Jarwin, Dave. I don't know what you got your hand.
His name is one of the tight ends.
You definitely recommended Blake Jarwin over Gronk week 1, bro. So
right. I was right.
Let's
right
cool
process.
it a little bit on the victory laps, my guy.
Right process though. I just picked the wrong.
I think. Don't worry. I picked up Schultz in a couple leagues. Glad I ain't go for Blake though, but I picked.
He has been looking good out there though.
For sure.
Right.
Wait, did you just tell him to pick a defense? Wait a minute.
No defenses.
Wait, he asked for a defense.
Right, and Gabe said pick the Falcons. What you mean?
Against the Jets? Yes. I said that, but I would pick the Falcons against the Jets, bro. I mean, it's still a rookie quarterback.
True.
Who y'all gonna go with?
I don't know. I ain't looked at defenses in so long. My goodness.
So you got the Ravens against who are the Ravens playing? They're playing Indianapolis. You got the Colts against Ravens, and then you got Packers against the Bengals, and then you got the Browns against the Chargers.
So what I look at, I know the Browns. They probably getting the most sacks, but they going against the Chargers. That's pretty hard. I usually look at the team that's getting the most sacks, and I usually roll with that team. The team that's getting the most sacks and got a decent or the best matchup, I usually roll with that team because the sacks tend to carry over versus INTs and fumbles. But yeah, man, I don't trust the Falcons, bro. I just can't do the Falcons, bro. I would pivot somebody else. Cleveland, they're playing the hot Chargers. You got to throw them out. Packers against
Bengals.
Ooh, and
who have been looking good. I'm going with the team that's playing a team that's struggling, and that's the Jets.
Yep, that's what I always look at. Who playing the sorry team?
Oh no,
there's no bias. Y'all know there's no bias over here. I'm looking at it from an objective standpoint, and I'm gonna be real with you, Lark.
I'll probably go to.
We don't research defense too much, bro.
Right.
Because none of our leagues play defense. But I looked at the projections also, and they pretty much confirmed this. My projections have Atlanta as the number 6 defense this week. So I'm going with them.
Yep. Yeah.
Right. Look, I agree on that, my boy. We three are Falcons fans. We watch the Falcons every Sunday, so we know the Falcons defense is doo-doo.
Big trash. They talking about Carson being out 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh, wait a minute!
I didn't hear that. This must have just happened when we was recording. Who do I drop for Alex Collins? Well, if this is the truth, and if this is what happened, I would drop Hunter Renfrow.
Samuel.
Yeah, it's between Samuel.
Been getting targets, boy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's between Renfro and Samuels. I think Samuels should come along longer down the stretch. Logan Thomas has got hurt, so we don't know what's going on with Logan Thomas. So Curtis Samuel should come on eventually. Pause. He's a much better player than Hunter Renfro, or more athletic, I should say. So that's hard, bro. But it's definitely between Curtis Samuels and Renfro.
Even Michael Carter, bro. If I'm getting Alex Collins, I would drop Michael Carter.
I
just never like dropping running backs, though.
Carter taking over the backfield, and Moss is like in that 50-50 split with the touchdown deodorant. Yeah.
I'll drop the Samuel, bro.
Yeah, I can dig it.
Yep.
Yeah, time me to go spend some money on Alex. Probably already off the waivers somewhere, but yeah.
I've been had him, bro.
Oh shit, man. Like I said, man, if y'all listening to this and y'all ain't been to the website, make sure you go visit ffinsession.com. We do our you can read all the stuff that we be talking about. If you want to read the stats, if you want to read them, you can read them. They'll be up there like maybe we usually put them up Saturday. Well, I say usually, we only did it one time, so we put it up Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you follow us everywhere else, like and subscribe. Next episode, Friday, we're coming out with all the games that you didn't hear this episode. It's the big 100 episode, so make sure y'all show some love. Yeah, man, appreciate everybody. Appreciate you, Lark, riding along. Make sure you join the session, baby. We here to take you to the championship.
Yeah, like, subscribe, everybody. Appreciate the love. We got you every week. Find us on Twitter if you need questions throughout the week.
Yeah, for sure. Or you could like email us. Like I think it's a place on the website where if like you click it and then let you email us. Something like that.
Yeah.
Fantasy. It's session. Fantasy. It's session. Fantasy. It's